Okay, in the last problem, basically there is a correction. You see, we have said Rx is change in momentum in x direction. This should be change in momentum, total change in momentum. This is the change in momentum only of bullet, because bullet has a velocity mv naught cos 30 minus mv naught. So this is the change of momentum of bullet. So this is the force on bullet and this is the same force on the rod, but this is not the reaction force, because you see, now finally this bullet will have a force. Now this rod also has a momentum in x direction, because rod will also have omega into L by 2, that is omega into 1, L by 2 is 1. So this will also have velocity omega into 1, so L by 2 is 1. So they will have a velocity, so linear velocity of rod is omega into L by 2. So now there is one momentum, finally there will be one more momentum. So this is the initial momentum, this is the initial momentum, this is the final momentum, minus, and one more term that will be minus finally, because m, that is the mass of rod, and velocity of is omega into L by 2, that is the velocity of capital mass m, mv, and this is the mv. So simply this is the momentum of rod also. So I have to basically subtract m into omega L by 2. Omega is 1.46 and L is 2 meters, so L by 2 is 1 meter. So if I add, and then we will find this terms 0.8 Newton. You see, in the last question we have not said that this force reaction, so in the last we said reaction force is basically this one. That is not true exactly, because this force is a force between rod and bullet. Force between rod and bullet. In y direction, reaction force, in x direction there is a reaction force, but x direction there is a momentum of rod also. In y direction no problem. In y direction there is no force of rod. So simple force between bullet and rod is same as force between bullet, this rod and this hinge. So in y direction, since rod has no velocity, so we will simply find out the force on bullet. Here we have found out. So this is the force on bullet. So this is momentum of bullet initially minus momentum finally. So this is the force on bullet. This force is same and force on rod, and this is same as force on hinge. But in this case, first case, you cannot do the same, because there is a momentum of rod also, that is m omega L by 2. So I have to take into consideration of this term. Okay, thanks. So you make correction.